It's Tuesday afternoon, and you know what that means. It's time for Randominity with the Random Christian Show. Today, we welcome paranormal author Angel Vaow. Brought to you by Neil Getzlow's book, Unmasked, Conquering Sexual Sin and Walking in Victory. Order your copy now at neilgetzlow.com. Use the code RANDOM for a 10% discount. The Random Christian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. The Advisor is a Facebook group composed of multi-talents such as actors, directors, artists, writers, and more. If you fall into this category, contact them at Facebook at The Advisor. Intro music is provided by The Dead Campers. Check them out at deadcampers.com. That's campers with a K. Next week on The Random Christian Show is comedian Tonjadi. Plus today, random questions of insanity. With us as always is the voice in our heads, Matt. My name is Andy. And now, here's your host, a man so random you never know what you're going to catch him wearing on camera, Christian Random.
It was a very comfortable, supportive G-string that's lacy. And no, those weren't dingle balls. Okay, welcome to the show. It's Tuesday, the beginning of the real week, because Monday doesn't count. Wednesday and Thursday, nobody really pays attention to. And then you get to start on Friday, and we start the weekend all over again. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Andrew. Thank you for the intro.
Are you here in my studio?
It looks very familiar.
Wait, where
it's possible. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to poke you.
Oh, wait, no, that is you. Hi. Hey. All right.
Hello.
No, I'm good. Hello. Everything's great. How are you?
Everything's good. Everything's fine here. Fine. Just a small nuclear meltdown. We're good.
How's the hip feeling?
Sore. Still sore, but I'm able to just use the cane at this point, and so we've been doing that.
Good.
I've been doing what I typically do, which is overdoing it. So today I'm actually not doing much of anything.
Good.
I really overdid it yesterday.
Is it hard not to do your grumpy old man routine when you're walking with the cane? Because I would just naturally go into that if I had to use a cane for a little bit.
Sometimes it is a little hard to not do my grumpy old man, especially when I stub my toe on the cane. Because back in my day, we didn't have canes. We just walked around with big things standing next to us. We'd be like, come here.
All right. Sorry, Matt's about to explode.
Yeah, right. And can see him frowning off camera right now.
No, he's totally ignoring us. Which is
right. Yeah,
Matt's speed.
He should just print out a sign that says, "You guys are better than this," and hold it up when we do that.
If he had a way to put it up here on the feed,
right?
Look, now my mouse is working excellent. That's why I was sitting there. I'm like, come on! I was trying not to.
Right. Oh, sure. So that's what happened with the slates there.
The wireless mic.
Sure.
Mic, mouse. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Look, now it works great.
Hey, look at that.
There's Angel.
Hey,
Angel, our guest, author of Into the Darkness, and we've got all sorts of great books that she's actually written. Paranormal author, and she's actually been a host or a guest host on some paranormal shows. So I want to get to her and talk to her about some of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was very, very interesting. Hey, how about old Elon?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
you figure someone else would find something better to do with $44 billion?
Billion, not million, billion. $44 billion.
Right. Yeah. But no,
I'll take your social media and I'll put it right up your bums. That's what I'm going to do.
But, yeah, I would try to figure out something better to do with that money.
I definitely want to be his friend.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of better things you could be doing with $44 billion. I don't know. Buy Russia? Kind of cold this.
Yeah.
Get this whole Ukraine thing under control. Be like, okay,
whole thing the whole thing about real estate is location, and that's just not.
And nobody wants Siberia.
No, that's not sound advice. That really isn't. I wouldn't. You know,
Hey, it's Elon Musk. It's coming up.
you know, he did send a giant penis into space.
No, that was Bezos.
They both looked like penises.
Yeah, but yeah, you know,
It didn't.
Bezos
I mean, it doesn't matter.
and more.
Doesn't matter what the shape of it is, as long as it looks like it. That's what it is. They both sent giant penises into space.
And yeah, it's like the first U.S. rocket actually just looked like a big hypodermic going into space. So you know, maybe they were implanting some Viagra into the moon, and now. Wow, that was I have no idea where I was going with that. So I apologize. I am so sorry.
Apologies for letting you hang out there in the awkward silence of your terrible jokes.
That was my fault. I'm terribly, terribly sorry. I won't let that happen again. I promise.
Now that we've made that clear.
Yes.
So
I really need a more user-friendly soundboard. So yeah. Anyway.
Wow.
No, it's not you.
At least you have a soundboard.
It's Apple. It's Apple.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm at least trying to push the blame there. It's not the user. That's
right.
For damn sure.
Yeah. Blame the dead billionaire. There you go. All right.
Right? Speaking of dead and billionaires, this reminds me a lot of Scooby-Doo, doesn't it?
Sure.
They're always hunting for treasures.
Well, I thought because Scooby-Doo deals with normally like ghosts and the paranormal, that way to build into our guest.
And those ghosts are always hiding treasure, right? Or the monsters.
Sure.
I guess
have you even watched
a little extra
Scooby-Doo? Do you even know what you're talking about? It's the one with the dog.
Yoinkies, Fred. Yes, okay. I know. Yeah. I know.
Hey, as an old radio guy, who was
sorry, Matt just goes, it's a guy in a mask, bro. Like, oh my God. Sorry.
Who was the premier voice on Scooby-Doo?
Oh, that'd be Casey Kasem.
That's right.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, he did a lot of voices.
Oh yeah.
Not just Scooby-Doo.
Right.
The rest of them are eluding me right now because I got more important things to do than talk about Casey Kasem, who freaks out on people because they can't get it right. You know, which is, you know, nothing like, you know, old Bill who just
pushed a button. I really pushed a button.
Do it live.
22 minutes is here.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Dude, Tim, how are you, buddy? It's great to see you.
Oh,
man.
I forgot the chat. The chat. Oh, Andrew, you forgot to remind me.
Not
Timmy.
my job.
Timmy.
Dude, how are you, buddy?
Hey, buddy. How you doing, bro? Hey, you're just in time, Tim. We're about to do our top 12 list, which is top 12 reasons that the Random Christian Show is like the Scooby-Doo show. Ooh. So to get things a little fired up here. Oh. Yeah. I think that's kind of sexy. Somebody's been doing some stuff here. This is awesome. Zoinkies, you're right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here, Tim. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for taking some time, man.
Thank you, brother. Missed you, man. Been checking in on you. All right, so let's go with the top 12 reasons. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, number 12, because we basically do anything for snacks, especially Scooby snacks. Ruby snacks.
Yeah, that worked out pretty good.
When I worked in San Francisco for Clear Channel, the evil empire of radio, we had a sales manager that worked for K101 who could do a deadpan Scooby-Doo impression, and 1 year for Halloween dressed up in the full Scooby outfit. Like it was just brilliant.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, it's amazing the talent that you can find in the sales office or in the back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people that are not actually on air.
Right.
Yeah, totally fun.
Yeah.
Number 11, Top 12 reason why the Random Christian Show is like the Scooby-Doo show. Andy's infatuation with saying zoinks, and Matt always saying jinkies.
Zoinks!
Jinkies! I filled in for Matt.
That was good. No, that
yeah.
was, no, Matt's jinkies would be more like jinkies. That's my Matt impression.
It's a pretty deadpan jinkies.
Yeah, right.
Jinkies. Okay. 10
So
minutes.
unimpressed. Yeah, seriously. 10 minutes.
Jinkies. Number 13. You guys are always pretty spread. Nice one,
wrong.
Timmy.
You're not wrong, Tim.
No, not at all. We're crappy, maybe, but not scrappy.
Number 10. We snoop around the internet looking for clues about our guests, but get distracted by very large sandwiches.
Very, very true. And we're going to call it sandwiches. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Sandwiches, not weird other things. Number nine. We promise that if we get reinvented, there will be no cutesy Scrappy-Doo like characters. Ever. All right. Got that, Tim? I am the only cute one this show ever needs. Ever.
Because I'm adorable. I'm so fun.
I need to go back on the pain meds. Number 8.
I think so. Yeah. Number 8. We're still haunted by that one fish story interview that went bad.
I didn't see that one. Oh my God, that's awesome. Yes, that's never gonna go away. No, that was beautiful. Number 7, top 12 reason why the Random Christian Show is like the Scooby-Doo show. We'll get the Harlem Globetrotters to help us on this show eventually.
Sometime
Someday.
soon. Yeah.
Hopefully. Get Matt working on that.
Yeah.
Number six.
Number 6. Whenever I get scared, I tend to jump in Christian's arms like Scooby did with Shaggy.
Raggy! Doinkies! Stop it, Scoob! Let's go find some more snacks. Okay. Let's see. Number 5. The studio is like the Mystery Machine. It's always kind of lost and smells like a dirty dog. Food crumbs are everywhere. A weird guy in the back speaking in different voices, and it's always breaking down. Yeah. Example given, beginning of the show with the slates and my mouse. Okay.
Boom.
Decided to start working now again. Okay. Awesome.
Right, yeah. Number 4.
Number four.
Christian is really Old Man Withers.
Oh my goodness.
I knew it.
Back in my day, we didn't have pesky little old Scooby-Doos running around, damn it.
Okay, Matt, I'm sorry. I stopped. Number 3, top 3 reasons that the Random Christian Show is like the Scooby-Doo show. The 3 male characters in the show constantly stumble over each other, while one that's not the main character is really the only one that knows what's going on, Matt. The other 2 are comic relief. Supposedly.
I feel like I really dropped the ball and should have worn my ascot today for this. Like I really should have worn an ascot instead of my tie.
Yeah, Matt should have, I think. Yeah.
Right, no, it's all right. Number 2.
Does that make me Scooby?
Yes, it does.
Damn it.
Yes. No, that's cool, okay. Though. Right. Yeah. But
I mean, anywhere I want.
It is your show, right? And, see, so that's how this works. Number 2, while our banter is fantastic, Talking Dog could be really the one element that pushes us over the edge and really gets us to that next level.
We could. We could use the Taco Bell Chihuahua for sure.
I'm just saying, right? You know, just a little dog cam in the, you know, I think that'd be great.
I think that would be an excellent addition to the show.
Yes.
And now, number 1 reason that the Random Christian Show is like the Scooby-Doo show, because we are the meddling kids that don't let the other podcasts get away with it. Hey, hey-o. That's right. Yep. And there's our exit music right on cue, kind of, if Apple gave me a better product to use. All right. Yeah. Good times. Good times. Welcome to the Random Christian Show.
Heyo.
There's our top 12 list. And that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. And everybody's happy it's over with now. So that's a good thing. And we're going to move right into our next little adventure.
Yes.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Let me cue up my music here.
Bring
that,
her on. Bring her on.
Bring her on. Wait a minute. That's getting too much like a strip club now.
Do you need me to click her in?
Oh my God.
Because I can click her in if you need me to. If you need, my mouse works. So nothing but the best here at the Random Christian Show, by the way.
Need my
Top tier
soundboard to
equipment.
work.
You know,
Yeah.
we're in this nice new studio, but apparently the $6 mouse has finally died, everybody.
Oh my.
Wow, everything's going at this once. We got
Let's introduce our paranormal author. That'd be Heyo Angel Vaow. Hello, Miss Angel. How are
Hi.
you?
You guys got me cracking up here.
You Scooby snack of a lady, you. Hold on there. There, now you're the center of attention. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Hey.
You guys are a trip, man.
Well,
that
that's
is
the
by
least
far
of
the
what we've been called.
That's by far the nicest way we've been described. A trip. I think that is the best way anyone could describe us.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Yeah, that's definitely a win. We are going to quote you on that, and we are going to use that as the banner for the Random Christian Show. Random Christian Show, you guys are a trip. Angel Vaow. There we go. I like it.
Yes. So now we get to start the actual part of the show. The one thing that works on cue. All right.
I was like, that's not very encouraging. What the heck?
Right. Yeah.
Well, because now you fully have to deal with me.
Right. Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you? How is your world? Yeah. Now you're out in Pennsylvania, correct?
Yep.
Beautiful,
Yep.
beautiful. Weather's good out there. Things are looking good. Things are nice.
It was 91 degrees here yesterday. 91.
Wow.
Do you know what it is
Wow.
right now?
What are you
42.
gonna say? Wow.
Yeah. That's Pennsylvania weather.
Yeah.
You know what? That's everywhere right now because I live in Oregon and we had like 70 over the weekend and yesterday was like 45.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Doing
know.
the same thing out here. Just
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
yeah.
So
It's
it's
just
been
been
weird all
a
over.
it's just been a crap fest everywhere weather-wise. So
Yeah.
hey, and how about that whole Twitter thing? How you feeling about that?
I really haven't invested too much time and effort into finding out what exactly is going on. I
So
really
you don't
don't
have
know. I know a lot of
ADHD
people
like
are-
everybody else in the world.
What's that?
You don't have ADHD like everybody else in the world that's on Twitter.
No, I don't. I like Facebook is my go-to platform. Twitter, I have like on an average mild week, I have between 25 and 40,000 people that follow my tweets or,
Wow.
impressions is what they call them.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, I hear a lot of people say, well, they're leaving it now. Well, part of my career, it's how I keep connected to Twitter land. So I'm not
Right.
really thinking I'm going to leave it unless something major would happen.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens, I guess, over the next sort of 6 months when this all sort of fleshes out. And yeah, I mean, because especially for people still sort of in media and at least what I do from 9 to 5, they rely on Twitter heavily for sort of news and
Right.
sort of breaking things, and a lot of it is reference. Oh, so and so on Twitter said this,
Yeah.
know. So I wonder. I don't necessarily see where that's gonna change. Like where's that next step gonna be if people do decide to sort of run away from Twitter?
Right.
I mean, it will definitely be interesting.
Right.
It's been a lot nicer. I mean, I've noticed it on Facebook and Twitter. I'm not against free speech by any means, but I am against hate speech. And
Yes.
I think we all
like
are.
ugliness. And since they have cracked down on that, Facebook and Twitter both have been a lot more pleasant to be a part of.
Yeah.
What I worry about is that the wrong people owning these platforms and allowing that hate to come back, then that's, I'm not too happy about that, because it's been quite pleasant the last few months. So
well, and the whole thing, and since we've gone down this road, the whole thing about it is censorship. Okay, which there's one thing, and it's like being politically correct. There's politically correct and just being polite. Okay, and there's politely correct. All right, politically correct, you can go screw yourself on. I don't care. Say what you want. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you. But there's a polite way of talking about it. Okay.
Right.
There's also a polite way of being angry about something and voicing your concerns about something, instead of just being, hateful and rude and mean and disgusting. You can still voice your concerns and your anger without taking other people down. Just prove your point, say what you're going to say, and back off. And then let other people say what they're going to say.
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to prove your point. You can just speak your piece.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry.
Right. And
again, I'm back
that's
to
the whole
fourth
thing.
grade.
No, but that's the whole thing with me, is that I don't like, I embrace other opinions. Like I know I don't know everything.
Right. And that's the key.
And please, if I don't know everything, please tell me something I don't know, so I can have better perspective. And my situation is different from everybody else's situation. So how news impacts me, or how, procedure or politics or somebody owning something impacts me, is different than how it impacts you. So my take on it is way different. And you could be my next door neighbor and have a completely different path to where you are from now. And somebody saying, oh, hey, you hear they got rid of chocolate donuts down the way, could impact somebody completely differently. Right. So
those people deserve to die.
Right. Yeah. So
nobody takes my chocolate donuts. This is America. Damn it.
Yeah. So if the only thing
that you're going to say is they're taking away beer and TV.
So the only thing that happens is if Twitter is suddenly there's a little logo that says powered by Tesla, and it's the same thing, I'm good with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Powered by renewable energy from coal plants. All right. Yeah. So it all works together. So anyway, now that we're talking about coal plants and free speech and everything, let's speak freely about the coal plants of your books, which are spooky and scary paranormal. Now, are these books, how many books have you gotten so far? How many have you done?
I've written written and released 49 books so far.
Holy crap. I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah, I write fiction and nonfiction, so.
Okay. Wow, I guess I didn't research far enough. I was.
Good job, Kristen.
Yeah, well, but see, now the problem is I've over prepped before, and it makes for, well, let me just say Carl Gottlieb. Let's put it that way, and we'll leave it at that.
Still haunted.
It's still haunting. But we'll just leave it at the big fish story and go from there. Yeah. But now, but no, that is amazing. That's awesome. So, and now these some of these are based on true fact, correct?
The nonfiction, it's I rate spirituality, metaphysical, and paranormal for nonfiction. So the paranormal books, like Conversations with the Dead and Paranormal Destinations, that's all fact. That's all what I've acquired as far as knowledge, since I was 8 years old in the paranormal, and my experiences at different haunted locations.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And yes, I get the whole nonfiction fiction thing, just because we've already had fourth grade English lessons before you even came on the show here earlier. So,
Okay.
and Matt's in the back snickering right now. Just kind of like Andrew. Looks like he's about to fart.
Sorry.
But no. So okay. So yeah. So because I know you've also been on. You've been a guest host, correct? On a couple paranormal cable shows, correct?
I have been a consultant for 3 different television shows. And I was on a episode of Ghost Nation 2 years ago when they came to Pennsylvania, and Ghost Nation, that's like Jason Hawes, Dave Tango, that crew. The original Ghost Hunters.
Right.
Yeah.
Went from Ghost Hunters to Ghost Nation, and now they're back to Ghost Hunters with the TV show. But when I was on it, it was Ghost Nation, and they came to the hotel that's about 10 minutes from my house that I have a personal family connection to. And they had me on there as a guest to talk about my experiences, to talk about my grandmother that died behind the hotel. And yeah, so.
Oh my goodness.
Cool
Okay.
experience.
Wow. So you've got a real deep tap in there.
Yeah.
So now what was that like? And I'm sorry, I'm looking for a question that a friend actually sent me on Facebook. So I'm trying to find that question for you. But so now, okay, they brought you in because of just that fact? Or is it just because of your whole paranormal background and you just said, oh, by the way,
a combination. It was a combination. When they contacted the hotel and said, do you have anybody in mind that we could contact that has the experience and has any evidence or anything that they can, share with the network? And they gave my name right away.
Yeah.
And they called me from California. They had me send the evidence that I collected over the years. They had me send the original articles from my grandmother that died in the fire behind the hotel. And the next thing I know, I had production managers calling me. They were actually, I had people calling me that wanted to know about my life in the paranormal that were connected to the show, but had nothing to do with that episode.
Oh,
so
wow.
I got the interest of people at the Travel Channel network. So I've actually been working on a couple side projects with them, but working with Ghost Nation and Jason and them. Jason was amazing. He was very sweet. It happened to be right when COVID was getting out of hand, and they wanted me to go down and investigate at the hotel with them. And California sent me a test to take for COVID. Unfortunately, the test got here. I took it, sent it back in, and they didn't get it in time before they stopped.
Oh, no.
So we just did like a Zoom meeting between Jason and I while he sat out on the veranda of the hotel. And it was supposed to be like a 10-minute interview, and it ended up being almost an hour because him and I just got to talking. And
oh, wow.
We knew, once he knew I knew what I was talking about as far as paranormal, he was like LinkedIn, he kind of latched on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was awesome.
Welcome to the Random Christian Show. Now, okay. What was the name of that episode, by the way, that you were on?
That was, the name of the episode was Do Not Disturb.
Okay.
And it aired March of 2020, I do believe.
Okay. Yeah. And so it's out there so people can look it up and check it out. Yep. Okay. Yep. Now, I'm sorry, I finally found the question I was looking for. I had a gentleman, he has a show called The Holzer Files, HOLZER. Dave Schrader, yeah. Okay, have you ever dealt with him before?
No, I haven't had the chance to meet him yet.
Okay.
I want to, but I haven't had the chance yet.
You know of him. This is a fellow podcaster. When I told him I was having you on, he's like, oh, I wonder if he knows her. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, they're ghost nerds. I'm sure they probably know each other. So which is your new official title, by the way, Ghost Nerd.
Awesome.
It's no longer paranormal author or expert. It is Ghost Nerd.
So
it's in a lot more with this show.
Yeah. So when did the fascination with the paranormal start?
I'm kind of born into it, to be honest. My mom is and her sisters could always communicate with spirits and had, special abilities. And my first experience, I was 8 years old, and I actually saw the spirit of my grandfather who hadn't passed yet.
Wow.
He was in the process of passing.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
yeah, so my mom was like, okay, that's a new ability. That's,
Yeah.
we can see them once they're gone, but the fact that you can see him now, very odd. So from that moment on, my mom just kind of kept me in on the right path to learn my abilities, how to utilize them, how to help people with them, because that was the biggest thing. It wasn't to get fame, it wasn't to feed my ego,
Sure.
it was really to help people, because
Okay.
Right.
a lot of
And-
people live in fear of ghosts, and
Well,
need
and
help.
that was my next question is, okay, so you've had you said your mom and your grandma, and they're walking around and they're talking with, invisible voices. You're like, all right, mom's been on the sauce again. And I mean, did it ever freak you out? Was it very scary for you at all? Or all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, this is what
Always
happens
around
every day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again,
it's
if you're
an
like, if
everyday
that's,
normal thing for me. Always has
yeah,
been. Yeah.
like if that's part of the norm, then you just think that that's what it is. Like, and unless, until like someone comes over and you're like, well, what's your mother doing? Right.
Yeah.
And then you're just like,
And
she's
and
talking to
just-
grandpa. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
so what were your friends like? They're like, your mom's sitting there talking to a clock. And you're like, yeah, that happens.
Back then, it wasn't as heavily accepted,
Right.
religiously, and just,
Oh, yeah.
outsiders. So, even I knew as a younger child, you don't just go around telling people you can see and talk to ghosts, because
Mhm.
Right.
they're going to think you're crazy, or they're going to think you're evil, or you know what I mean? So it wasn't until the late 80s before my mom was like, you know what? You have abilities, use them. Don't be afraid to use them. Don't be afraid of what
Yeah.
people think or say. You were given these gifts for a reason. Use them. Don't hide them.
Right.
So that's just, I was blessed. I mean, I had a mom that not only provided, education and support, but a lot of people grow up and they see things or hear things when they're growing up. And most of the time parents will be like, it's your imagination, that's
Right.
not, there's nothing in your closet. There's nothing under your bed. And unfortunately, a lot of people grow up to not identifying with their gifts because they've been told that they were crazy, or it
Yeah.
doesn't exist. I run into that by thousands of people that have had that type of experience. And it isn't until they get to be an adult that they're like, okay, you know what? I'm an adult now. I know I
Right.
see what I'm seeing. I know I hear what I'm hearing. So
Yeah.
can't chalk it up to imagination anymore. I got to face it, so.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it certainly helps out that that your mom had the gift as well, because typically when the gift is rejected from parent to kid, it's because they're different,
Right.
Right.
and there's something different going on. It's like, no, I'm like this is how I am. It's like, no, you're not. Don't worry, you'll be fine. We'll take care
Right.
of it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, no, that's incredible that you got that support to really nurture.
Welcome to the Star Wars plot.
I didn't say it.
No, I'm just
I
saying.
absolutely did not say it. We can be on record here to say I did not
I'm-
say the SW word. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Duly noted.
It's very similar to the Star Wars plot. Oh, I have a gift. Oh, and then Obi-Wan walks in.
Oh yeah, the whole Jedi thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like to placate
it.
the Star Wars thing a little bit, just because
You said it.
it's fun. So okay, so now, and how old were you when you decided that, or discovered that you had this ability?
8. I was
8.
8.
Oh wow.
My
So
grandmother.
a fairly young age. I mean,
40 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
and you're watching. So like, did you have sleepovers and you're like sitting there in the middle of the night talking with whatever, and your friends are like, hey, sleeping, What's going on?
No,
I think you've had too many s'mores.
them. Like if I was at a friend's house, I could see them, I could sense them, spirits, but I never communicated with them because like I said, I was told not to. Like, don't let people know that you can do this,
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. And
so
then,
when did you get the bug to start writing about it?
Yes, that was exactly my next question. Get out of my head, Andy.
I'm telling you that the chip's sending me the stuff. So
it is.
It
is.
Yeah.
So.
It was actually my publisher.
Really?
When I got published, I didn't have to send any book in. It was actually a coincidence how this all went down, but I'm friends with a celebrity, Michelle Bollinger, and she's been on numerous TV shows and she has one heck of a following. But I was friends with her, well, I still am. And my mom was in the middle of passing away, and one of the last things that she said to me was, Angel, get all my journals, get that into a book, even if it's just for you as a reference book. Take all my journals, do something positive with them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that she had like 86 journals.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what?
You're like,
so
hey, Mom, you could have
it took me like a year and a half to get through all of her journals. And I'm talking every day I made notes from her journals. So over a year and a half. And I finally had compiled enough information that I wanted in this, workbook is pretty much what she called it. So I reached out to my friend Michelle and I said, hey, I said, how would I go about getting a book printed out? She says, are you publishing something? I said, no. I have all these notes that I took from my mom's journals. I want to put it into a book form just for me to use.
Mm-hmm.
And she answered my question. This was on her public wall. Well, at the time, her publisher saw my post and reached out to me. And he says, in his message, he says, I'm interested in your book. Because it was all metaphysical. It was, had nothing to do with the paranormal. It was like, healing, how to heal people and, bring light to the world and just all positive kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he was interested in it. He says, send me, what you have. And I think I would like to, publish you. I thought the man was full of it.
Right.
I had no idea who he was. Thought he was just a scammer, somebody messing with me, or, a publisher out like the vanity presses that want you to send them money to publish you.
Right. Yeah.
Huge tip. If they want money,
you wouldn't know about, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Right.
No publisher should ask for money. That should be your first red flag. But anyways, I went by like 2 weeks, didn't reply to his message or anything because again, I thought he was full of it. And 2 weeks go by, and I get another message, and he says, "Hey," "are you getting close to being done with your book?" And I'm like, "Dude, are you serious? Like,
right?
Why? I don't even want to publish a book. I'm just trying to make this for myself."
Yeah.
Because I think it would sell. He says, "Send me what you got." There's over 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
Of this book. So he sends me a message and he says, you actually have 3 books. We could actually split this up and make 3 books out of this one book.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not interested in being published. I said, it sounds like way too chaotic, and my life at the time wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared to put on anything like that.
Yeah.
But he pushing and pushing. He's like, look, you have the look. He said, you have the personality. He says, you got the talent. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So within 4 months, all 3 books were published and released.
Wow.
And then, because they were done. It was just one long book. They just had to split it up.
Yeah.
So about 3 months later, he says he found out that I was a big part of the paranormal community. He says, you should write a book. He says, I see a lot of people asking you questions on your page and you're so quick to help. And he says, you should write a book. I was like, nah. He's like, yeah, you should. And I'm like, okay. So I tried to think of something that I would enjoy doing that didn't feel so much like work, but, a passion that I have with my life. And I started writing the book, and 8 months later it was done. We released it, and within 2 weeks, it was on the bestsellers list.
Wow, that's
Nice.
incredible.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations for that. That is awesome. Now, how long ago was that?
That was in 2015.
Okay,
Wow.
so you've been hitting this for about 7 years now.
Yep.
And now, was that your latest book that we were showing on the slate there, Conversations with the Dead?
No, that's actually the book that went to the bestsellers list.
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Yeah,
And
there's a
now
series,
that
that one, and then the Paranormal Destinations is actually a series. There's 2
Okay.
books in it, and it continues on from the Conversations with the Dead. Paranormal Destinations is a continuation of that.
all right. Now, do
Yeah.
these books need to be read in a certain order, or can they be
No,
shuffled
not
around? I
necessarily.
mean, is there a rhyme and a reason to the way you publish them, or
I would suggest reading Conversations with the Dead first. And it's Into the Darkness. Conversations with the Dead is the first one. That one has a lot of explanations on how to paranormal investigate, proper ways, etiquette. It's like a how-to book in the beginning of it, and then I go
Okay.
into the locations that I was at and the experiences. The
okay?
second book, Paranormal Destinations, doesn't have a lot of the how-to, but more of my experiences. So
Okay.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Now, when did it come to the point where you were starting to do? Because I know, like we mentioned earlier, you've been on a couple of these paranormal shows. Have you gone and done paranormal investigations off the TV? I mean, did that start there first, and then you got invited to come to these, or how did all that work for you?
I've been investigating since I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, so you're 13. You just started going out in the middle of the night and digging around, and why
No,
is it always at night? Why is it always at night?
it's not always at night. That's a myth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for the most reason is because, at night there's less traffic, there's less noise, so there's less contamination as far as light and
Okay.
noise, contamination. But no, spirits come out whenever they want to. So
Right.
Yeah.
it could be 7 in the morning, 7 at night. Yeah.
I would be sunbathing if I was a spirit. I would be out like I don't need to be coming out. Night I sleep. All right. So daytime, I'm out here catching the sun in my lacy G-string and being supportive.
Oh God, what an image.
Yeah.
Oh, if
Imagine
you
that.
could only have seen the text thread from earlier today.
Oh no, you don't. So moving on. I'm just saying, if I was a spirit, that's what I would be doing. I don't need the nighttime thing.
And
we
would be thankful that we couldn't see you. That's
yes, and most people would,
right? Yeah.
Unless I really didn't want people around. Then I'd be like, hey, boop, and then and then bye, and then they're gone, and I get my peaceful sunbathing slumber.
That would be one way to get people away.
Hey, thanks for joining the crowd there.
There we
Angel.
go.
All right.
She's officially one of us now.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's back.
So you've consulted on some of these TV shows. Is there any interest, or do you have any desire to push what you've done with your books to different media?
What do you mean different media?
I mean, like, did you ever want to start like maybe like a TV series or something around what you've written, or no desire to?
No, I've been offered 2 different jobs with 2 different TV shows, and I turned them both down. My reputation is more important to me than any paycheck.
Sure.
And a lot of these shows, they embellish.
There's a lot of hype.
They're very dramatic. Everything's a demon. Everything's dark. Yeah. I don't play that, and
sure.
I don't encourage that. I don't teach that. So yeah, I choose my reputation over anything at this point. So
yeah. Now on that note, I'm sure that you've probably ingested a lot of these shows that are out there in terms of the paranormal. Is there one that sort of that you can tell that they get it in terms
Kindred
of
Spirits.
Kindred Spirits?
Yeah, with
Okay.
Amy Bruni and Adam Berry. The reason why I chose them is because they actually want to help people. They're not going on there to, bring revenue to a haunted location, or
Right.
they're actually in it to help people. And
Yeah.
that's what you should be in it for. It's not to stroke your ego. It's not to put money in your pocket. It's to help. And they do that very well. And
okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so now when you say they're trying to help, you're talking about like they're helping to eradicate spirits from people's dwellings, or they're trying to give them some peace. Talking to a grandfather, or a past relative, something like that, a family member. Is that what you mean that they're trying to do, or are they just what do you mean by that? And I'm sorry.
That's okay. When I say help, I mean it's either to go in and help the spirits who may be at unrest. There might be something that, some kind of unfinished business that they have. There might be something that, sparked their anger or their disappointment or whatever, So when you go into a home, or at least when I do, I focus on the spirits there first, if there are any. There's, I've gone over 100 different private cases. And private is just when somebody has a house and they think it might be haunted, or a business, and they want you to come check it out and help them. So those are private cases. I've been on over 100 of them. Most times it's like a loose pipe that's banging in the basement, or an electrical issue, or, but that's a part of the helping. Like, you go in, you try and debunk what you can. You find out if there are spirits there. Are they friendly? Are they upset? Whatever. And then you try. And then for me, I teach the living people how to not just coexist with the spirits, but to how to deal with them, and how to, most spirits, they just want to be acknowledged.
Yeah. Right. Kind of like that new TV show called Ghosts.
The what?
There's a new TV show out. It's a sitcom called Ghosts.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
It's
great.
It's on Paramount. It's really funny. This couple moves into an old mansion that's quote unquote haunted by all of the ghosts that have died in the house. She has a near-death experience, and then is now open to all of the spirits in the house. And it's but no, it's a half an hour total comedy, and like there's a Viking,
but they coexist.
There's an old and they all coexist in the house. There's an Indian. I mean, it's I don't know, for someone who's sort of close to it, like you, obviously there's again, when you're writing something for entertainment value versus the actual practice of something.
Well, there's
there's a lot of difference, but that's it. There. It very loosely deals with sort of giving the ghosts, closure in certain areas of their existence. So,
right. Some of them want that. Some of them don't. They just want to be. They just want to coexist with the living.
Right.
They're like, I'm cool hanging here, man. Just chill.
Yep.
And I get it. Hey, like I said, you find a good sunny spot where you're going to be sunbathing. I'm just saying, that G-string's coming out, baby.
Oh,
so, so it's, and Matt goes, it's update of the cartoon Beetlejuice. Pretty much. Yeah. Beetlejuice. So now, have you ever witnessed any violent spiritual activity where it's coming after you and things like that? Do you get that at all? Or are most of the dead pretty peaceful, and they're like, whatever, man?
They're not all pleasant. I've had things thrown at me, and now, and one thing you have to know about me is I won't discuss something like that happens unless we have evidence of it.
Right. Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've captured things being thrown at me because I won't back down to an aggressive spirit.
Right.
I don't scare at all. So once they realize that, they get a little upset. But I've also, just in February, I was at the Hinsdale House in New York, upstate New York. And we captured it. Now, if we wouldn't have captured this, I would have never said anything to anybody, because it was all, I mean, it was almost too crazy for me to even believe, but I was a part of it. So
Yeah.
we have this special camera. It's called the SLS camera. And it works much like a Connect like game system, where if you stand in front of the camera, it maps you out like a skeleton.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's amazing piece of equipment that we have. But I was sitting on the couch at this house, and now I've clocked over 1,000 hours at this location. So spirits there know me. I'm familiar with it. I've never felt any aggressiveness at this place after all these years until this past February. But I was sitting on the couch, and one of my team members has the camera pointed at me, because I say, how it happens is I'll say, okay, somebody's on my left or somebody's on my right, because I can sense them. They'll put the cameras on me, and it's always validated that I'm right. There's somebody, wherever I say they are. I had mentioned that there's somebody in front of me. I said, my legs are freezing right now. Like, somebody must be standing in front of me. So Daryl, one of the guys on my crew, he pans the camera over, and he says, yeah, he said, there is somebody there. Throughout it was like a 20-minute session. And this spirit kept moving around me. But in the beginning, it was very innocent. He was like kind of sitting next to me, and he had his hand on my leg, and they're capturing all this on video, right?
Was he a stripper and then just passed away? And then so he was like,
I would have rather him been a stripper, because we've actually got that. No kidding. We got somebody.
No way.
Ghost strippers. Oh my God.
I swear. I lost my mind. I had no idea it was going on. The person that was recording it, laughing.
That's great.
And I'm like, what are you laughing about? And they're like, H, wait till you see this. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen. And I'm like, what is this doing to me? She's laughed. She's like, you'll just have to see. And it was giving me a lap dance for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
oh my God. Was it like totally thrusting its
but the
humping your leg?
It got aggressive after about 15 minutes in.
Well, you didn't tip.
Feeling uncomfortable, and I said something to Daryl, who was recording all this. I said, something switched. Whatever the spirit is, or whoever the spirit is, they're not innocent anymore. And and we're on Facebook Live, so he's not only recording it, but this is all being shown on Facebook Live, right? We had hundreds of views of this going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, I start feeling really threatened, and I felt like somebody had their hands on my shoulder and they were pushing me back on the couch. So I say that. You can hear me say that in the video. I said, I don't know. It feels like they're in front of me and they're pushing me back. And Daryl, like, he is. He's on your chest. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Like, the spirit, like, kind of contorted itself and was right in front of me. And you could see its hands on my shoulders pushing me back. So I start to freak out just a little bit, because, like I said, I've been at this place so many times. I've never had that experience. I said, okay, whoever you are, you need to back off. I don't know why you feel like you have to do this to me, but back off. And don't you know, gone. Just, I mean, you could see him the whole 20 minutes in this video. And then as soon as I say back off, and I don't know why you're doing this to me, just gone. And all of Facebook Live saw this, and everybody was like, oh. It was intense. I mean, I don't know why this spirit got aggressive with me. I don't know, but he was tall. He was, I mean, judging by from the camera, he probably is like 6'7". I mean, it was a very tall male presence that was messing with me, and it was pretty crazy.
Oh, that is nuts.
Could have been Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, maybe. So we, my wife likes to go to different just historical landmarks and walk around and stuff. And we have an 8-year-old, and it's really hard to keep an 8-year-old sort of there and sort of in the moment, with us as we walk around and do grown-up stuff. So we downloaded this app called GhostTube, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it at all. But what it does is you turn it on, it picks up sort of the vibrations around, and it will translate those vibrations into actual spoken words, and an AI will speak the words, right? And sometimes it's sort of just gibberish. sometimes you can try to talk to it and see if they respond, and sometimes it does, which is nuts, right? So we're walking around Pittock Mansion in Portland, okay? And they have some of the rooms sort of dressed up for the different family members that stayed in the room, right? And this was this was, I think, a year ago, and my son like massively into stuffed animals, right? And so we walk by the kids' room, right? And we have the Ghost Tube app up, and we're getting some really cool stuff from the different rooms that we go in. And the kids' room is dressed up really great, and they have these really cute stuffed animals in there. And he says, "Oh, Daddy, I want that bear." And I'm like, jokingly, I said, "Should we take it?" And the app at that moment said, "Don't." And we're just like, "Oh man, we should walk away right now."
Yeah.
So
there's also a tour guide walking behind you at the family.
right, yeah. tap in. But I mean, I just, I agree that those energies are out there and present, and you can feel them like all over the place. And I'm obviously not as in tune as you are. So, but I mean, yeah. I mean, they're there
sensitive to a point, or you wouldn't be able to feel that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I mean, it's like the hairs on the back of your neck. Sometimes when you walk into a place and you're just like, right. Like this isn't a good, I don't have a good feeling, and yeah, to bring back to Star Wars, I don't have a good feeling about this, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Okay. I wasn't going to say it then.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But then 9 times out of 10, somebody else says that, and I just do the Wookiee scream, and then it's done. So
yeah, there you go. The old Wilhelm scream. Hey, so
You're
now
making my dog. You just made my dog look up at me like, "What the hell was that?"
What was that? There we go. Here, we'll do it one more time.
Oh, that's great. Oh no, I'm gonna put a Wookiee growl on the soundboard, Christian. Yeah,
that'll be awesome. Hey, now, so when you were filming this, there he is, puppy.
Puppers.
Aw.
Woke him up.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Sorry, buddy.
Here.
Sorry,
We'll give you one of these. This will lead you back to sleep.
Oh.
There. See.
Oh.
It's all good, Papa.
Look, he's just looking at you like,
he's like,
where
hey,
did that come from?
bothersome right now.
I heard my people. Come on.
I heard the Scooby-Doo theme. I got no snacks, and now you're just sitting here babbling away with these two idiots. It's dinner time. God, Ruby snacks. Okay, now where can we go on? Is there what was the show, or is there any footage that we can go see where all this was going on that you were talking about?
I imagine it's still up on Facebook, right?
Yeah. The video's still on. I can when we get done with this, I can actually tag you guys if you want to check it out.
Oh, please, yes.
Well,
yes.
and we'll have a link to your website. Now, what is your website so we can get this out here?
Construction at the moment.
Oh.
So I have one, but it's under construction because I kind of wrote too many books in a short period of time, and my web creator is like, I can't keep up. Just, you know what? We're just going to redo this whole thing. I'm like, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, okay. So, but you don't have a name for it yet or anything, or?
No, I mean, we're trying to decide whether, because before it was both of my pen names.
Okay.
So we're trying to decide whether we should just have two separate, like one for my fiction and one for my non, or combine them all. So yeah, we've been in the talks with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. And so now, you started out with the nonfiction, then you went into the fiction. Now, what was the inspiration for that? Are the fiction books more like a romance, or are they just drama, or
naughty books? Again, my publisher, I don't know, he saw something in me from the get-go, things that I didn't see in myself.
I think your publisher has more ulterior motives. I'm just saying.
I mean, with the paranormal, he pushed that, and then a friend of his was writing an anthology book, and it was erotica. And he says, have you ever, written fiction? And I said, no. I said, I used to write songs back in the day. I was in a band, and I said, I've written poetry, but no, I've never written fiction before. He said, give it a go. I said, no. He said, give it a go. He's like, we need one more story to put in this book. And he says, there's, the headliner of the book is a celebrity. So he says, it'll definitely sell. He's like, just give it a try. I said, fine. So I sat down, and within 3 days, I had a short story written, and it just like,
wow.
I didn't understand it myself. I don't know how it was so easy for me when I had never done it before. And I sent it to him, and he's like, this is amazing. He says, your mind, he says, it's definitely naughty, but creative. And he says, he says, we need to continue on this. So I did. And my fiction books do just as well as my nonfiction.
That's incredible.
Right.
That's great.
And okay. And so basically you're writing ghost porn.
No.
Am I incorrect?
No.
It's the naughty version of Ghost. I mean, come on. That's
thing about paranormal, because it's always after dark and paranormal. So it's ghost porn.
Yeah.
Simple and plain.
We had a comment from Facebook here. Bonnie Grissom Matley says, my father actually experienced his cousin appearing next to him as he died in the next room, which is,
wow.
which is very neat.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's rare. That's
right.
Not when it comes to the paranormal at all. So
yeah. So crazy.
Thank you, Ms. Matley. And so now, what? Okay, you've dabbled into the ghost porn. You've done the nonfiction, and so now let me ask you this, because we've already kind of grazed over it a little bit, but shows like Ghost Adventures, obviously aimed more towards the dramatic. Yeah, and I know you're going to shake your head and stuff, but because I love the fact that these guys are just over dramatic drama queens, and I think it was more entertaining just to watch them freak out on certain things. And I know they do things to trick themselves to get that reaction. Now, have you ever dealt with any of those guys? Have you talked with them? Have they approached you? What's the one guy's name? Zach?
Zach Bagans.
Yeah. I just love the big dopey bald-headed guy in there. He is just
Aaron's awesome.
Yeah.
Aaron's not the only
He's
one
just funny as hell.
Get on board with. But no, their show contacted me last year and wanted some evidence that I collected at one of the haunted locations that I was at, and I turned them down.
Yeah.
Just because I can't respect what they do. I just can't. So
yeah.
Because it's a lot of, and I think maybe it probably started out as trying to be a very serious approach, but then they're like, well, if we do this, well,
you
gotta get a lot more viewers.
Right.
It's like a lot of podcasts and stuff out there. They're like, well, if we can just do something like this where we're, so flamboyantly out there and stuff, then we're going to get a whole lot of likes.
Put on ties and pretend we're in this really nice studio with our background, maybe we'll get more listeners and see if was that out loud?
Wait a minute.
No. So there's a really good show on Paramount Plus called Evil that actually deals with it's a scripted serialized show, so it's obviously completely fake, but one of the shows they deal with is it's basically a church-led group of debunkers that deal with people who contact the church saying that they're either possessed or they've seen a spirit or something supernatural has happened. And these people go in to say that it's basically crap or that it's real. Right. And one of them was dealing with one of the ghost shows. And it was actually, I really enjoyed the way that episode was done, because it almost sounds like, your impression of them and how you sort of deal with them. And I was just impressed. So hearing you talk just reminded me of, that for someone like you, for someone like you, and you probably get asked all these questions, you're just like, these shows are there. And that's it.
They're getting their episodes and all that.
I tell people to take them for entertainment purposes only, because there's no
Right. There's no point
science
in it.
behind it.
Right.
Well, all right. So now so you've done nonfiction, you've done fiction, you've been a guest host. And now tell us about being the guest host on this show again. This was actually where you were connected with where your grandfather passed or grandmother.
My
I'm sorry.
grandmother. Yeah.
Okay. Your grandmother passed, and so you were connected with this. I said you said it was a hotel or something, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
It's Hotel Conneaut. It is in Conneaut Lake, PA.
Okay.
And in 1940, actually, the anniversary just passed. April 22nd, 1940. My grandmother had bent down to light a kerosene heater and didn't know that there were embers still burning, and it exploded, and it caught her fire from her neck down. Never touched her feet, never singed her hair.
Wow.
This was actually written in the original article, because the firemen were actually baffled how her entire body didn't catch fire. But from neck down, she caught fire. She ran outside. The neighbor, by the time the neighbor got to her, she third-degree burns from her neck down. She suffered in the hospital for 2 days, and she died on April 24th. So that actually happened. There is a urban legend at the Hotel Conneaut about a spirit named Elizabeth. She does not exist. She never died in the hotel, and supposedly she was caught in a fire in 1943. Never happened. I have done so extensive research on this, and I've actually gotten other people to try and help me, find the truth. And there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And we went back as far as like the 1930s, and there was nothing about this woman existed. So what I think happened was my grandmother's story got misconstrued and turned into this Elizabeth character. But yeah, it's one of them things that when the TV network contacted me, because it was such a horrific event, but the fact that she was only burnt from her neck down, and we've captured her there talking to me. I've captured her on a digital recorder. We know she's so they figured what better way to try and contact this woman than through her granddaughter,
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially her granddaughter that's, into the paranormal. Huh.
Right. And they also wanted me because I got locked into a room. Okay.
Oh, sure.
What?
So
and the dog just went
Yeah.
It's like you have your own Scooby-Doo next to you.
Right.
Oh, that's hitting the camera. Chill out.
Oh.
Yeah, so at the hotel, because I've been investigating there since I was 13, I have a special room that they always put me in, which is room 84. Okay. I've been staying in that room for 10 years at least. Mm-hmm. And a couple years ago, there were 3 of us in one part of the hotel, and we were investigating, and this was up until like 5 o'clock in the morning. And we had equipment going called the Phasma box, which is kind of like what you were talking about, Andy. It sweeps through stations, but if the spirit wants to talk to you, you'll get a word or words.
Yeah.
So 5 o'clock in the morning, we were having a convention that weekend, and I say to the spirits, okay, guys, I'm exhausted. I need to get a couple hours sleep. Do you have any other messages for us? 2 voices came through and said, yes, stay the whole day and investigate. We didn't think anything of it. I heard them. We all heard what it said. Yeah. And I said to them, I'll be here, but I can't investigate. I have the convention to contend to. So I went to my room 84.
And that pays my bills. So
right. And I went to bed for a couple hours. When I got up the next morning, well, a few hours later, I got up to go out and get coffee, and the door won't budge, and I can't get out of the room.
Oh, wow.
And I'm messing with the lock. I'm trying to get it to open. I'm like, what is happening right now? I've been locked out of rooms before. I've never been locked inside one.
Yeah.
So I had to call the front desk, and I said, Bonnie Jones, she was the manager at the time. I said, Bonnie, I'm stuck in my room. And she says, "I'll just come up and get a key." I said, "No, I'm not stuck outside. I'm stuck inside. They won't let me out." And she says, "Are you serious?" I said, "I wouldn't be calling you unless I'm serious. So help me and rescue me." So she comes down with her keys. And as she tries to put the master key in the lock, the chamber of the lock moved on her and wouldn't let her put the key in.
Oh, wow.
And I can see it moving. There's no way for me to move it inside. It was all outside, but I could see the chamber moving too. And I'm like, "Bonnie, this is not cool. Like, why are they doing this?" You know? She says, finally, she says, "Okay, guys, we know you love Angel. I love Angel too. You cannot keep her forever. Please let me let her out."
Mm-hmm.
The chamber stopped moving. She put the key in and she let me out.
Oh, wow.
That's another like example of if I wouldn't have had somebody else there to witness this, I would have never mentioned it to anybody, because who's going to believe that?
Right.
So,
yeah.
That I actually got locked in. So the show was very interested in that too, because of course they wanted to make it out to be some scary thing. And it wasn't. I mean, the spirits know that I respect them there and they love me and they know that I have a connection there because of my grandmother. I just don't think they wanted me to leave. Is all it came down to, you know. So nothing malicious about it, but the show tried to kind of make it that way. And I wasn't happy about that when I saw the final results. And I actually ran into Jason in person at an event last October. Confronted him right away. I was like, "Fuck." I don't know why y'all did that. I never said anything malicious, locked me in there. Well, you know, where did that all come from? And he says, "I didn't do that." He says, I wouldn't do that." He said, "That's the editors, that's the producer."
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say it's all production.
So I'm like, well, I'm not happy right now, because you know they made it out like I was in some kind of harm, and I wasn't. I don't want people to think that they're in danger at that hotel, because they're not. So Pop, stop. You woke him up, Andy. He's been like crazy.
I'm so sorry. The Wookiee scream tends to do that.
Yeah, it does.
He straight up thinks there's something outside now. Stop.
I don't even own a dog, but there's 5 sitting out beside my back door right now. So.
Right. Yeah. Now, when you go on an investigation, I'm sure that there is sort of an initial reason for you to go, but do you do any sort of research around the location, or do you just sort of show up and go off of sort of the energy that's there and sort of fill in the blanks afterwards?
When somebody calls me in for a location, I ask, that they don't share the history with me. Because as a sensitive, I want to be able to go in there with no preconceived notions. I don't want to know that somebody died in the upstairs bedroom. Don't tell me that stuff. That my job is to go in there, find out who's there, what's going on, what happened. If you tell me, then there's no validation for me. So I try and, I tell people, don't tell me anything unless it's, something dangerous and I need to be aware of it. Don't tell me. Let me figure it out on my own, so.
If this one throws knives, I want to know. Okay? That would be uncool. Now, if it's, all about feathers and tickles and stuff, I'm fine. Let it ride.
The lap dance, hey, just give me a lap dance.
If he's a former skipper, cool.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Now, has there ever been an investigation that really sort of surprised you in sort of how
besides coming on this show?
But has just sort of really surprised you in terms of sort of the strength of the energies at the location, or are you just open to sort of anything when you get there?
I can pretty much handle anything.
Sure.
Like I said, I've had them throw things at me. I've had my hair pulled. I've been pinched. But it's nothing.
I thought we were talking about investigations here.
We're not talking about your last nonfiction book.
Well, there's been some frisky investigators that have tried that, and they've threatened, "You will be a spirit in this location if you try it again."
Right.
So yeah.
You're like, "I got a spirit for you, buddy."
Yeah.
Bam. I will come through the third wall and knock you the hell out.
Right. And I'll report all of it. But yeah,
seven senses.
I think the one that caught me most off guard and surprised me the most was the one that we were talking about earlier at Hinsdale about, that.
Okay, yeah.
Because honestly, spirits can't really stick around for 20 or more minutes. It's I've never seen that. I've seen spirits they get depleted very easily.
Yeah.
But that earlier that day, all of us were noticing that as we were trying to charge our equipment and even our cell phones, nothing was charging. It said it was charging, but nothing would charge. And we didn't figure it out until later that night. But spirits can drain equipment. And that's what it had been doing. And that's how it accumulated all that energy to stick around for 20 minutes. I mean, I've like I said, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've never seen a spirit be able to maintain that connection for that long. Yeah. And then as soon as I say back off, it disappeared.
So let me ask you this, and I know you probably don't know the answer to this, but if they can drain the batteries off your equipment and stuff, okay, which, I get it's a source of power, it's electricity. There's electrical outlets. Why can't they use those to help generate their presence or whatever it is, so that way they can sit and talk with you? Oh,
they do. That's why you'll see like lights flicker or dim.
Yeah.
Things like that. They'll use whatever source they can get. But in order to do what this spirit did, it was going to take a lot more than wiring. He had to accumulate as much as he could from every possible source to be able to stick around for that long.
Okay.
So,
yeah, he went full 5G.
and working on 7.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So now, what is next? You're redoing your website, okay, which is awesome. So that way everybody will have access to it. And I guess you'll let us know so we can put it on our website on the show. So when people tap into the show, they will be able to find you. Is there any other way? I mean, I know you're on Facebook. Now, what is your contact on Facebook?
Facebook is Angel Ray 11. So it's ANGELRAE 11.
Okay.
That's for my author's page on Facebook. And then you can find me on Twitter at Angel Ray 73.
All right, very good. And so
ANGELRAE.
And now I know have you written your books in both your real name and the surname, or because you have Angel Ray, correct?
Right. That's my nonfiction pen name.
Okay. All right. And so and now are these on like Amazon? Where can people find your books, ma'am?
Majority of them you can get them on Amazon. If you go to my author's page on Facebook, the pinned post has a listing of all the links for my books that will take you directly to Amazon to get them.
All right, very good. Right on. And so we've kind of come to this point in the show, which is one of my faves, where we get to ask. Are you going to announce it, Andy, or do you?
We need a sounder for this. Random
questions of insanity. and the soundboard to at least give me that.
Yeah, we'll produce a sounder for this. I'll get on that.
So thanks for helping us iron that out there, Angel. And maybe I'll get a better technical word. But in the meantime, Apple. So we like to ask, and I know because you've been watching the show. So we have several questions that we'd like to ask of you, and I was going to ask, do you want to play? But you really don't have a choice in the matter. So on that, we always like to ask 2 standard questions.
Okay.
The first one is, what is your favorite James Bond movie?
Or do you even have one?
Yeah, I'm not big on James Bond movies. I'm sorry. I like Sean Connery though, but not because he's James Bond, just because he had a sexy voice.
There you go. There you go.
Of it.
No, and that's a very valid answer.
And he's a great character to play for Daryl Hammond on Saturday Night Live. That's right. Suck it, Trebek. Okay, well, fine. that really sucks. Jeez.
Not everybody likes James Bond, Christian. It's okay.
Everybody likes James Bond. They just don't know it yet.
Right.
Okay, so now our other favorite one is which I think we did establish that Joey was the one that gave this to us. What is your favorite sandwich that you make? Not one you go order somewhere, one where Angel walks into the fridge and goes, oh, here's my favorite sandwich makings. What is it? Bread to bread.
I like wheat bread.
Okay.
That's about it. And just like I'm pretty simple person. Plain. I just grilled cheese is my favorite.
That works.
Ooh.
No.
Okay, but what kind of cheese?
Like 4-season hotels for conventions and stuff, and I'll call down and be like, can I just get a grilled cheese? And they're like, well, we have this and this. No, I don't want all that. I just want a grilled cheese.
We have the finest aged cheese ever. And we have a chef who flies in to prepare such a sandwich for you. I just really want to go to Sonic and get a grilled cheese. So, I mean, American cheese, cheddar. Do you have any kind of favorite cheese that you would make?
American and Swiss are my favorite.
American and Swiss. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay.
If you go ahead. Christian. I was going to bail you out, but you got there. So
well, I'm just trying to make sure I can fit one that works with her. Which superpower would you not want?
Reading minds. I don't want no part of people's mentality. None whatsoever.
But you'll listen to ghosts. Isn't that kind of like reading a mind?
Much easier to deal with than the living. You put me in a house, I will deal with 100 spirits as opposed to one idiot. No lie.
I mean, but they're just communicating the only way they know how. Like your inner monologue is your inner monologue for a reason. Like you don't need to be sharing that with anybody.
Right.
So
I can't wait to be a ghost.
Yeah, I know. The last thing I want is to be able to read Christian's thoughts.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Are you sure about that?
No.
That's dangerous.
Right. No, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that calls for a dun dun dun. Welcome to my evil brain. All right. Okay. Andy, your turn.
Yeah. So if there's one spiritual energy that you haven't connected with yet, but you really, really want to, who would that be?
Marilyn Monroe.
Interesting. All right, now
to communicate with her.
Yeah. Now, what would the reason be behind that? Just out of curiosity, what is it?
Freaking goddess. I mean, she was amazing, and I think so misunderstood. So I would want to do that. I'd want to sit down and talk to her and find out why she did the things she did, and
clarify a lot of things, and be like, and by the way, who killed you? All right. So, and I think you're kind of a nerd, so this might work. Who wins in a fight, Kirk or Picard?
Picard.
Damn it.
No doubt. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, again, there's no wrong answer. There is no wrong answer.
Much taller than Shatner, right?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I think they're roughly right around the same height.
Well, I'm still going with Picard.
Plus, he's Dr. Xavier, so you know. Okay, Andy.
If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say or do?
Don't be a twat waffle. Be nice. Just be nice. That would be my
There you go.
We need bumper stickers. I think we need bumper stickers saying "Don't be a twat waffle." I'll get on that. You might have a logo by the end of the day. I was going to say
Andy's going to be making hats.
Yeah.
All right. So if you could be anyone for 5 minutes, who do you choose?
Wow, that's a good question.
That's a toughie, isn't it?
Hmm. You know, I'm gonna have to resort right back to Marilyn.
Okay.
I would love to live her life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to resort back to that.
Okay. I get it. Yeah. All right. Andrew.
24 hours left to live. What do you do?
Hmm.
Not wasted on a podcast like this, I can tell you.
Wow. Y'all are giving me some hard questions here. 24 hours left.
Well, actually 23 and yeah. No, just kidding. Being on this show does suck the life out of you. So I was 15 when I started this show.
Get on a plane and go to Hawaii. I loved Hawaii when I was there, and I dream about it constantly. So
okay,
nice.
I'd probably live out my last hours in Hawaii, no doubt.
When was the last time you were there?
I was there 7 years ago in December, and it was 7 days, and I got to see a whale jump out of the water, and
oh wow,
it was amazing. I've never experienced anything like it since. Just never.
Yeah, going to the volcanic area and just being in that spot is like otherworldly. Like there's no other. It's such a cool. One of the coolest things. I went when I was 14. I haven't been back, but just seeing that area of the world and just seeing land that looks like that was so incredible. So yeah.
I was fascinated with it. I stayed out on the beach and I was out in the ocean the entire time I was there. I drove my parents nuts. They're like, we got to go to it. I don't want to go. I don't want to stay. I was a real pain in the ass. And then my sister threw up on poi. So then we got to stay at the beach a lot more. Anyway. So what is, and I think this will be a perfect question for you. What is the weirdest thing a guest has done at your house? Nonfiction answers only.
Living or non-living?
I don't know.
I say we can open that up.
I don't know if it would be weird, but I could say brave. The bravest thing is somebody walked in here with a Cleveland Browns jersey on. I'm a Steelers girl. Like, I love football. I'm a sports fanatic. I love basketball. I love boxing, football. I mean, fanatic. But Steelers, that's my team.
Right.
So you really hate the Raiders?
No, I don't. The Browns and Tom Brady.
Okay.
Oh God.
That's it.
Okay.
I hate. Yeah. It's the law that we have to hate the Browns. So the fact that this moron thought that he was going to walk up in my house being a smart ass wearing a Browns jersey, I was like, get out. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, get out. You're not coming to my house wearing that. Sorry. Bad luck. Get out.
All right.
That's great.
Beautiful. Excellent. Then again, there are no wrong answers. So Andrew, let's go with one more.
Okay. What is your current or biggest pet peeve?
Besides being on this show.
I think people, like what we were talking about earlier, people just being mean, you know what I mean? Like there's a time to be assertive and aggressive and to get your point across, but there, for the most part, just be nice, you know what I mean? If I see you're being nasty and mean and judgmental and whether it be over religion, politics, or whatever, I'm not good with bad people. I'm just not. And I have no filter.
Cool.
I have no filter when it comes to people like that. And racism is a big thing for me. And I will fight tooth and nail over somebody being racist. I can't handle it. So
I like to just call them idiots. But that's
is just being a good person.
Yeah. I don't even use the word racist. I just say, oh, yeah, so you're an idiot. Okay, got it.
Right, exactly.
So, because it covers it so much better. Racist actually narrows it down. Idiot basically says everything that's going to come out of their mouth at that point.
Right.
All right. Well, damn. All right. So now, what do you have a new book coming out soon? Are you in the works on one? What do you got going on?
I'm working on one now. It'll be my 50th release.
Boom.
Yeah. So I'm looking at June should be the release for that.
Oh, great.
Okay.
And then I'm working on 3 more this year. So.
Oh, wow.
Oof. All right. Now, are these all nonfiction ghost porn, or are we actually?
It's ghost porn. It's a mixture. There's going to be a couple nonfiction and then 2 fiction books.
Well, okay. Sorry. Just went there.
Got to put him back in his cage.
Yeah. The coffee's starting to run low. So
yeah.
But Angel, thank you so much for coming on this show. We truly need a better soundboard. There it is. No, it's working now. It's not it's the Apple. It's Apple and those idiots at Apple. But no, Angel, I thank you so much. We will have links to your new website when it comes out. In the meantime, they can find you at Angel Ray 11 on Facebook, correct?
Yep.
And Angel Ray RAE 77 73 on Twitter.
Right.
That was close. 4. But all right, Angel, I thank you so much, and we'd love to have you back sometime. So please make sure we are constantly in contact with you. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Angel Vaow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Miss Angel. Have a wonderful, great day. Go feed your dog.
Yeah.
That poor guy, he's over there whining.
I feel so bad for waking him up. I really do.
No, you don't.
I know I do. No, that's awful. You know, especially it's just like waking a kid up. The last thing you want to do is wake a kid up from a nap, you know? And me, just because I have to be funny with my stupid Wookiee roar, of course, I wake up a dog, you know?
Well, yeah, but he's hungry. I could tell. Yeah. Those were I'm hungry whines. So it was bound to happen one way or another.
I make the same sounds when I'm hungry too. So
I was going to say,
I do.
I'm kind of getting
sound. Right, yeah.
Because it's, it's getting close to feeding time for the old Chris man.
I find this stuff fascinating, though. I really do. And it's really cool to hear. It's really cool to hear her talk about it in such a matter-of-fact way,
right?
You know, that it's not sensationalized. It's not, but it's so. I mean, it's just what it is,
right?
And I love that part of this.
Yeah.
So
I wish Joel Carroll would have tapped on, because he was seeing demons back when he was a child, and he writes about it in his book. Yes.
Okay.
And how they were trying to attack and latch onto him.
No, that's right.
Would have been very interesting to have him jump in here. I tried to, he's working, so
right.
He does his job too. So
yeah,
unfortunately wasn't able to, because I thought that'd be kind of an interesting perspective,
Right.
So, but anyway, but no, that was very interesting to hear how she does that and all her books and stuff. I think it's great. So yeah, we'll have to get her back on. Matt even said, hey, maybe near Halloween or something, we could try that. We'll see. It's a little ways down the road. But anyway, hey, and speaking of down the road, we're coming up on our 100th episode. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That is in just a few episodes.
It's your 100th episode. It's not my 100th.
Well, that's true. The show.
I gotta do my 100th episode. So
yes, we'll have a whole episode for that as well.
Right.
Andy's 100th episode.
Yeah, I could care less about your 100th episode.
I know, nobody really does. Great. But it's going to be kind of cool, because we're going to get a lot of people sending some shout outs that have been on the show.
No, that'll be very cool. Yeah.
And I think, did you get the Dead Campers one?
I did see that. That was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting a lot of cool things put together for that show. Brian Hamrick, one of my original co-hosts, was on the show, is going to be coming on and telling us about what he's been doing and all his dude, the guy is like nonstop. I swear to God, there's like 20 different things going on. And then on top of those 20 things, he's got 20 more. So, yeah, very, very excited to have him coming on. And yeah, he's in Brazil right now. Matt just made that footnote.
Okay.
And yeah, he's actually shopping for some cars. Went to a big car show down there with Volkswagens.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really, really, really cool what he's been able to do after, losing his job after the pandemic. He just totally turned it around and is I'm not going to jinx it, but he's building an empire. So it's what Brian does. He's been that way since we were kids, and he's just so good at doing what he does.
That's cool.
So very excited. Now, next week, we are going to have, and I'm trying to get to my graphics because my mouse is actually working. Next week on the show, we are going to have Miss Tonjadi. She is a comedian and a very, very funny lady. Very excited to have her on. And who else is after that? I'm trying to remember. Who comes after Tanja? Do you have it? I don't have it. I don't have the board up in front of me
Beth
right now.
Metcalf. Beth Metcalf is after her.
Oh my gosh.
Then the 100th show. Then Jamie McPeak.
Yes, and these ladies.
And then Pastor Philip rounds out the May.
Yes, and Pastor Philip from The Rock here in Kansas City. Amazing pastor. Always has he's just such a fun. He's a fun guy. But Beth Metcalf, I just recently got introduced to not long ago. This girl, like, they call her the Swiss blade army knife of entertainment. She sings, she acts, she's a stunt woman. She does comedy stuff. She's like does everything.
Cool.
She does movies, she does plays. She's like, like her resume is just so huge. And I was just like, okay, all right, I get it. Okay, you're busy and we're good. We're good. So it'll be a lot of fun either way. And very excited to have her on. And Jamie McPeak, she actually is she's an actress, but she also does a lot with some special needs and mental things, kind of like Tim did on the show. She's very involved with that. She's actually got some foundations going and things like that. So we're going to be talking with her about a lot of that. Very excited to have her on, and very excited to get that going. In the meantime, though, it's just us and music. There it is. Such a professional flow to the show. But hey, we can't turn you loose, just like the song says, but we're going to let you go just for 7 days. We'll be back next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Central. It is a live stream show, so make sure you like, follow, subscribe, review, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell strangers in the shopping store line to join in and listen to us. We are also on Good Pods, all the podcast sites out there. So if you go on there, review the show, just hit 5 stars. That's all you got to do. And say, hey, I listened to it for 5 seconds. And no, we're trying to do what we can. And go to the website, therandomchristianshow.com. If you like what you're hearing or you want to suggest something, please feel free to send us an email, send us a message. We're all available there at therandomchristianshow@gmail.com or therandomchristianshow.com. All right, kids, until next week, we are going to say sayonara. Andy, thank you so much, my friend. How's Rum and Regrets going?
We're doing great. We dropped our movie soundtrack episode, so we came to a decision on the best movie soundtrack of the last 50 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that'll be airing this week? Or?
No. It's already out there for the world to bring in. So.
Okay. And so, can you give us a little illusion as to what it might be?
Well, so I
was close?
What was your thought?
Mine was Grosse Point Blank. Well, mine and Matt's, I think, were both Grosse Point Blank. And then I also said Rumblefish.
Oh, right. No, you weren't. So, I mean, and remember when you're talking about soundtracks, you have a very...
No, you are completely wrong, you moron.
Right. But Nate, Joe, and I have very similar tastes in music and movies and stuff like that. So a lot of but then what I did was kind of unfair as well, because what I did was each decade had a bracket. So all of the 70s movies went against each other. All of the 80s movies went against each other. So again, who ended up in the finals was not necessarily the best two soundtracks, but they were. So after everything was said and done, we had a movie from the 90s and a movie from actually the 2020s in the finals. So it was interesting. And then we came up and then just the three of us voted on who would win. So
well, I am very excited to hear that. So go to Rub and Regrets on the you're on Good Pods, correct?
We are on Good Pods. You can listen to us on Good Pods. You can go to rubandregret.com, or you can, and your podcast platform of choice.
Yep. You're all over the place, just like this show. So in the meantime, kids, until next week, I want to say thank you so much, Andrew, very much for joining me and being a part of the show. And to everyone else out there, again, like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your neighbors. We'd love to hear from you at the randomchristianshow.com. In the meantime, be good to each other. Take care of each other. We're all we've got. Thank you to the Lord above, and we will see you again all next week. Peace out, kids.